Alright, for today's video, Shaquille Taylor killed Lillian Ludwig, but his IQ is too low. So the courts are debating whether or not he can stand trial. This wouldn't be the first time this has happened. Okay. Wood chipper is the only acceptable sentence. Rochester man gets 180 days in jail for R-wording two girls under the age of 9. All charges will be erased from his criminal record if he successfully completes his probation. 20-year-old Bakiri Shea, I'm not even sure if I pronounced that right, but I don't care because look what this guy did. Will serve no prison time after he was convicted of R-wording two girls between the ages of 4 and 9 in Rochester, Minnesota. Fucking course it's Minnesota. He will not be required to register as an offender. Cordell Gooseby shot and deleted Ina Kwan while she was 8 months pregnant on video and later confessed to doing so. He never met her and had no interactions with her prior to taking her life, unborn child's life, for literally no reason. A Seattle court has declared him not guilty for reason of insanity. Look at that face. With the crime, he's back out on the streets, ready to kill more innocent Americans. Plan accordingly. Mr. Guns and Gear, I like this guy. Just him in cuffs. Not getting in trouble for what he did. Of course it's frickin' Seattle. Well, here's a story that we're all familiar with. Irina Zarutska, 23 years old, Ukrainian refugee, flees her country, flees the war, ends up stabbed in the back by a scumbag while she quietly dies on the subway in the United States. What an awful world. Time for your blood to boil. And that's the moment. And look at all these people doing nothing as it happened. Later, afterwards, he was saying that there was materials in his blood that caused him to do it. Alright, here's another one that's going to make you incredibly angry.
The court found these two men guilty of the same charges after a plea deal. Investigators said they would go alone on several different occasions to a home in West Omaha, crawl through a basement window to have sex with a 15-year-old boy, and manufacture child pornography. Last summer, when it came time for sentencing Eric Bergstrom for first-degree sexual assault, Judge Derek Vaughn ordered him to serve 30 to 50 years in prison. For visual depiction of sexually explicit conduct, 20 to 35 years in prison. With Nebraska's good time law, he'll spend 25 years in custody. Earlier this month, co-defendant Bradley Perry faced a different judge for the same exact charges. This time, Douglas County District Court Judge Rich McGowan gets the case because the other judge had been promoted to the Nebraska Supreme Court. Judge McGowan's sentence for Bradley Perry for first-degree sexual assault: probation. The sentence for child pornography: 3 years. In court, the state argued that Judge McGowan should consider a similar sentence to what the co-defendant received by the other judge. According to court transcripts, Judge Rich McGowan replied, "Judge Vaughn is not here or available to make decisions on Mr. Perry's sentencing. I am the law. The governor has entrusted me to make this decision." On Friday, I emailed Judge McGowan what he meant by "I am the law" and how he can render a sentence that is lower than the state statute minimum sentence for first-degree sexual assault of 1 year. He hasn't replied to my message.
Of course not. Check his hard drives. And I mean that too.
Very different outcomes today from today's hearing, and I'll tell you some more details about what happened. There were two very different outcomes today. 13-year-old Nelson Nunez, the suspect accused of raping the young girl, will remain behind bars in an adult correctional facility as he awaits trial. Over the past several days, his attorney had Nunez's family members tell the judge how they would ensure his supervision if he were to be released. The judge was not convinced. However, 12-year-old Josiah Jones, a suspect accused of putting rocks in the young girl's mouth to silence her as she was allegedly being raped by Nelson Nunez, will be allowed to go home as he awaits trial. He'll be on lockdown at home. He'll have to attend virtual school and can't have access to the internet outside of school, and may not contact the victim or any other defendants. So both suspects are being tried as adults. We spoke to attorneys for both suspects after the ruling.
Now, that doesn't mean he's going to stay in custody forever. It just means for now, as we are defending the case and we're resolving the case, he will remain in custody.
My client received a substantial different outcome because he was in substantially a different position. The position he was in was that he was forced to do the things that he did by the other two children as a threat of force. And those were the words of the young victim herself.
Yeah. So, let's go back to this one. Hold the judges accountable. So, the problem I have here, the criminals, they can learn in one way, shape, or form if justice is being met. Here's the issue. If the judges keep letting these guys out, what do you expect is going to happen? If you can do crime unrestricted and you only serve a light sentence, what do you think that's going to tell you? I'm only going to do a year or two? I mean, we've seen videos of kids doing heinous things thinking, oh, I'm just a kid, I'm just going to get let off. Even though I stole this person's car, drug her 20 feet, she died. Yeah, I'm referring to an actual case here. I can't remember the exact specifics of that case, but you know what I'm talking about. If they got let off from that, what do you think is going to happen? I'll tell you what's going to happen. They're going to keep doing stupid shit. The guy who deleted that Ukrainian girl, he got arrested how many times? We need to hold the judges accountable. Because holding these people accountable only happens if the judges do it. Otherwise, you're going to have a case where one of two things is going to happen. Someone's going to get away with this, they're going to get let off the hook, and eventually someone's going to start doing vigilante crap. And regardless of whether or not the vigilante gets charged, more people are going to be like, you know what? I should go do some vigilante crap too. If you can't trust the systems in place, this is what happens. You get vigilantes. Like, in a sense, I mean, you can look at Antifa as vigilantes because they don't trust the system and they are going out and acting like fools, but at the same time, if you understand where they're coming from, they think they're the good guys doing the things that they do. If you don't trust the system, if there's no trust in the system, you wind up with people doing a bunch of dumb crap. The guy, Louis Mangione, when the system doesn't work, you get guys like Louis Mangione. You get guys like Tyler Robinson. That's what happens. And of course, you have all the people that I showed you. If you stop punishing people who are misbehaving, people don't trust the system anymore. And that leads to this: vigilante justice. And so, the thing that we need to do is hold the judges accountable. Now, in the case of Luigi Mangione and Tyler Robinson, they've gone to court. They're getting their due diligence done to them, and justice is being served. But the small fry here, the small fry, they get sent into the system, and then they leave, and then they repeat constantly. Nothing's getting done about that. That cascades over time and causes things to just go to shit. And as such, the way we keep this from going that direction is to hold the judges accountable. How many of these people that you let off the hook went back, recommitted, and caused how much death and destruction? Okay, guess what? Now you're going behind bars. And they should be put into a Gen Pop too. I mean, I want to know exactly how those judges are going to get treated in prison. Because if these judges are willing to let prisoners get away with this, not prisoners, they're going to let regular Joe Schmo criminals get away with this kind of crap on a constant day-to-day basis, what do you expect is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? If they're held accountable, they're actually going to start punishing these people. And so we can get a little bit of a semblance of order and more people can trust the system. But that's only one facet of what's going on here. We need to start there, hold the judges accountable, and the way we do that is by protesting. We protest outside the courthouse every single time a judge makes a stupid decision, so we should be following our local cases. Fire Judge so-and-so because they let this many criminals out to recommit, to reoffend. It's simple. I'll make the people up top look bad. And you already know that if there's a couple judges in charge of these lower judges and they look bad, they're going to get rid of them real quick. Because they like to keep a hold of their power. I need to shave. Which is also why I've added this shirt to my shop. Hold judges accountable. Yeah, this thing's gonna look nice. But yeah, I mean, but like the next time a judge does this and I have the ability to go out and protest, this is exactly what I'm gonna wear. And along with that, until things get done, the beating shall continue until morale improves. Yeah, I'm going to change the price on that here in a couple minutes. So that's going to be like $25. Anyways, you guys have a good one. I want to know what you guys think. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I want to know what you guys have to say on this particular matter. Because this can't continue. We can't have these judges letting these criminals out and let them misbehave the way they have been. This is how you get vigilantes. So, there you go. Have a good one, guys.